may play. From Jupiter to Saturn we'll deliver our freight on our starship, sailing through the interplanetary strait. With a hardy crew and a cargo of dreams, through the nebula's mist we'll forge our own schemes. In the vastness of space where no man has been, we'll navigate, chart the unexplored galactic highway. Heave home, mateys, upon the starry sea. We're the spacemen sailing through infinity. With our voices loud and our spirits free, we'll voyage across the celestial sea. Oh, voyage across the celestial sea.
Just realized that I had the be back soon sign up and not the starting soon sign up. So I'm not even ready yet. Clicked the wrong button. I need to put my ears in, otherwise I can't hear. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is well. That's better. Now I can hear myself. Always good to hear yourself when you're talking. All right, move this down a bit. Get chat box open. Greetings, Gaiden. Hope you're doing well. Eddie, Lone Ghost. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Really? Oh. Interesting. Stuff and things. Yes, back from not recording to doing some recording. Although, feeling a bit rough today. It is both, Eddie. It is both a Twitch stream and a YouTube stream. It's just that the Twitch API is a lot easier to get into than the YouTube one. So the sub goal, for instance, which isn't working. Ooh, excuse me. The sub goal should, or there's no YouTube equivalent for that. Thank you, Hira. Very much appreciated. Okay. Now I need to remember how I did this the first time around. Goals. No, it was over here. Manage goals. Does that work? No, that doesn't work. Talk, I managed to get that a while back. I just didn't finish the setup process. I thought I had, but apparently I hadn't. Somebody spoke to me yesterday about it, so I was like, oh, let me finish it up. Awesome. Thank you for the subscription. It is very much appreciated. And that sound is just going to confuse the crap out of me. Paul, just give me a second and I'll drop it into chat for you. No, what are we doing? Copy. It is also in the description, Paul, if you... Thank you, Senpai. Very much appreciated. There we go. It is now in Hype Train. Okay, I don't know what that means. But sure, we'll go with that. Fair enough, AJ. I try to pick a game that is similar to the story, but also something that I don't mind sitting and playing for 10 or 20 hours to get the background footage. So that is a bit of the... I don't even know what a hype train is. Ow. Right, so we're going to fiddle with the sound. So that was follow. Which song, Tiger Lily? That was a follow, if I'm not mistaken. The only thing is you can only really test the alerts out live, as far as I know. Thank you very much for the follow. It's very much appreciated. I can see this is going to be the first half of the stream is me trying to figure out how to turn the volume down on the alerts. Fair enough, AJ. Fair enough. But I mean, for a series, you don't necessarily have to record for a long period of time. But we'll see. Strategies are nice because you can put minimal effort in and then just get hours of content. Oh, the Spaceman one. Let me see. That, believe it or not, is an AI-generated song that I was fucking around with. Oh. Messing around with. I think I just got... I keep getting my streams demonetized. It is annoying. Where can I do this? that one's coming through nice. Yeah, I've had this thought in my head for a while that old school sailors, and they had sea shanties just to keep themselves occupied when they sailed across the sea. My thought was, wouldn't something similar happen if we go to space? Sort of songs that people sing to themselves or as a group for the voyages. So that was me asking Poldixer, thank you very much for the subscription. So yeah, I was fiddling around with getting sea shanty spacefaring music, and that was one of them. The best way. Thank you much, Hira. It's appreciated. We've got 3 subscriptions already. That's awesome. I'm basically trying to think of how I can... Tiger Lily, are you part of the Discord server? If you are, I can share the song on there for you. I might sound a bit breathy today because I'm very dry. Thank you for the Prime, Hyro Garden. You've got an echo here. There's 2 of you. Let me just... Tiger, are you willing to become a member of the server? Yep, there's a Discord server. Just give me a second. Okay, there it is. And then for all the new members, welcome. Here is that music. Feel free to use the song any way you want. Shouldn't get a copyright strike or anything like that. I've paid for it, so it shouldn't be struck or anything. So use it for whatever you want. As soon as I find it, that is. Which one was it? Across the Celestial Seas. There we go. And there you go. I have posted the story. You're more than welcome to download it and use it in whatever way you want. Just my only request is, if anybody asks, just tell them it is AI generated. Do not pretend that it's a real song. Well, real song, but done by people. That's pretty cool, Talk. I was just playing around with the music generating AI. I thought that was cool. This one is also one of the ones that it generated. So, none of this is real. This isn't sung by a singer. The instruments aren't played by people. This is all generated by AI. Where's Cloud Dad? Sorry, there's a... there we go. Thank you very much for the Prime. It is very much appreciated. And for the follow. It's still appreciated, Hero. Yes. It is Suno AI. I do have a paid subscription to it, so I could just mess around with it. But because I have a paid subscription to it, it's copyright free. The only perk for Discord is a color. So you get to change your name and then access to a super secret area, which is just a channel. If you've got a problem with something, you can just talk to me there. And that's about it. And you get a nice shiny color on your name. People like that stuff. In fact, they like it so much they begged me to give myself a different color. Because I didn't have a specific role on my own server, so I didn't have a specific color to my name, and I still don't have a specific color to my name. Yeah, I mean, you also got to be honest with it. So you don't want to pretend that it's all human generated, which I think is a bit much. You want to say, look, this is generated by an AI. And then people will be like, okay. But you do have a large group of people. Thank you for the follow, Rez. Much appreciated. Yeah, so, yeah, there are people trying to pass it off as real. Joe, I have no idea. So, intellectual property is a massive undertaking in and of itself already. As a voice actor, I give my intellectual property rights away as part of my job. So I don't really have any intellectual property. I just use intellectual property. As long as the little guys don't get screwed over, then that's my opinion. You know, do what we can to make sure that up and coming new talent, or even just very niche talent, can keep their rights. I think that should be a thing. But as a voice actor / narrator, I don't generally have my own IP. And to be very specific, is American IP, because it differs in countries. South Africa, for a very long time, if there was no local representative for a company, you couldn't claim copyright. So movies were imported in by a specific company, and they had the property rights for it. But games, computer games, were brought in, but there was no local distributor. So it was technically not pirating to buy a pirated copy. It wasn't against the law. Just random factoid. Stream manager. Right. Oh, we're on a level 1 hype train. I don't know what that means. I think it's a way to get people to spend more money. Which, sure, fair enough. I'm glad it's helped, Rez. I really am. I do like hearing that my content helps people get through some stuff. The day, time, or physio, or whatever it is. I mean, I've been there doing the commute of death, 3 hours a day, going to and from work. Not combined, not separately. Without anything interesting to listen to. It sucks. Fair enough, Tiger Lily. It is how you win Jeopardy. So, yeah. We're doing quite well on Twitch today. I wonder if it's because I'm set up my channel properly. Good morning, Peanut. How are you doing? So I think this is going to be more of a chat stream than a work stream. Like I said, woke up massively dehydrated. Well, not dehydrated, just dry, which is not great for voice acting. And it's probably because I took a double dose of my sleeping pill last night to ensure I actually got some sleep. So, swings and roundabouts. I got a good night's sleep, but the voice is a bit rough. Well, according to my watch, I got an okay night's sleep. Alright. Tiger Lily, did you manage to get that song off Discord? And the problem is, with the dryness, it's difficult to take deep breaths. So it tends to lead to, it's a pleasure, it tends to lead to more rushed sounding narration. Right. But feel free to ask questions. I don't mind answering. Unless I do mind, then I won't answer. It's as simple as it gets. I'm not entirely sure, Joe, but I'll probably go with Starlink in Portugal. Means I don't have to worry about, or an equivalent, because there are alternatives to Starlink. So I'll probably go with one of those, so that if I do move, I don't have to sort out a new internet line. I don't know how prevalent 5G is there, but we'll make a plan. I mean, the more rural you get, the more difficult it is. I mean, some of the more rural properties you see, they don't have any running water, sewage, or electricity. So it very much depends. Fair enough, Rez. My problem is I'm a lifelong insomniac, so I take the least amount of medication so I can get some consistent sleep. Because sleep is one of those things that actually messes with the voice a lot. That is quite interesting talk. That it definitely is a random fact. Tiger, yes and no. It's very difficult to go from the idea of a short story to an extended story. And one thing you see a lot is a new author. They'll release a popular story. And people are like, no, we want chapter 2. And you've never planned for a chapter 2. You never planned for it to continue. So you rush to create the second part without building a bigger world, without getting everything sorted out. So it comes across as rushed, and which it is. And it kind of goes downhill from there a bit. So I find that the series that do the best were things that were planned from the beginning to be a series, or somebody writing a story within a universe and then expanding it. So yes, I do some stories, not necessarily another chapter, but maybe just a bit longer to conclude it better. But that is what it is. Fair enough, Peanut. Fair enough. But like I said, it seriously affects my voice. If I do sleep enough and then not sleep enough. It was one of the first things my voice doctor, tried to fix. So when I went there 2 years ago, it was my acid reflux. Probably should be doing it with this hand. Acid reflux and sleep. So we had to sort those two out to make sure that those weren't causing the problems with my vocal cords. Once I sorted those two out, we found the partial vocal cord paralysis. Curti Pinheiro, I hope I pronounced that right. I do plan on doing book 2, but, big but, and I cannot lie, I want to wait for the book to be almost finished before I start it. That way there aren't as many breaks in the story, and then people can binge it like one go. I think people enjoy that more. So it'll be a while. Oh, and my sinuses were bleeding today, so fun stuff. So the sleeping medication I'm on, Rez, is not too bad. The only thing that I have is if I drink caffeine too close to sleep, or when I take the pill, I get very, very dry. Like my tongue sticks to the top of my mouth dry. So I need to be careful of the caffeine intake. Up until about 5, 6 o'clock is fine. If I take caffeine a bit after that, it interacts with the sleeping pill in a weird way. Sometimes Tiger Lily, sometimes. But I also think we do put a lot of pressure on some authors to continue stories when, it shouldn't really be there. For those of you who are new, there is an ongoing battle between my mustache and my nose hairs, so you will see me scratching my nose quite often. It is not indicative of anything other than I have a big mustache and nose hair. Which one? Because there are 2 When Death Wilders Meet. There's the one by something Aussie, and then there's the other one written by somebody else. Can't remember his name. Well, the username off the top of my head. It's very difficult because I also have to have like time restrictions on chapters. So I have a limited amount of capability per day to narrate, which works out to about 15,000 words finished per day. So that's about 20 to 25,000 words a day. And I have to ration that out between TFOS and the series. So if the chapters on a series are too long, it makes it very difficult for me to slot them in. I just, unfortunately, can't just keep narrating. So gone. Excuse me. Oh, that's what it was. So whether I will or won't do a series also depends on how long the chapters are. I like series that are between 10 and 20 minutes. That fits into my recording schedule a lot better. Yeah, I expect it to be about the same length as Nature of Predators 1. Fair enough, Rez. I mean, there's lots of things that can cause partial vocal cord paralysis. Now, the scariest one is the one that happened to me, which can happen to you, can happen to anybody. When you have a virus, like a cold or a flu or strep throat, it gets into the nerve endings and damages the nerve endings. That's what we think happened to me. So the horrifying thing is I could wake up tomorrow with no voice because it's happened again. But so could anybody else. So, I mean, the chances are teeny tiny. But it's still horrifying. What do I think is overdone in HFY genre? I don't know. But what I can tell you is I personally would appreciate more of the original style stuff, which is a very tongue-in-cheek sort of stories that lean more heavily into the comedy than they do into the hardcore sci-fi. I think that's been lost over time. A lot of the newer stories are very serious, with teeny tiny bits of humor in it. But you're not going to get a Billy Bob Space Trucker or something just equally just random, which you used to get a lot more when the subreddit started. Well, I'm glad that it helps, Curtie. Yes. So there is Eddie. Andrew's second account has got 2 released stories, as far as I know, which is When Death Wilders Meet and When Death Wilders Visit. I've done both of those. The third one, I don't know where that is in production. My acid reflux is mostly under control. It's mostly a diet thing, and then I do take some medication just to make sure that it's not affecting anything too badly. So I'm like onions. I can't eat onions anymore because that just sets my acid reflux off. So as long as I stay away from the stuff that's like sets it off, I'm good. I haven't had too much problem with the acid reflux. But, some days I'll be like, oh, I could really use a cheese and onion salmi. And I'm like, it'll be fine. I don't need to worry about the acid reflux. And then immediately regret it because of the acid reflux. So, I've always got one of these on hand. This is a big old bottle of, what do you call it? Antacid. So I'm supposed to take that with every meal. Overall health is doing okay. The voice is still going to be a while until it's 100%. But my biggest problem now, other than my voice, is my neck. I've got a bad shoulder, and it affects my neck, and I get migraines because of it. So we're trying to figure out how to deal with that. That sounds very rough, Rez. I'm glad you made it through. Good morning, Plexus. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, the crazy ones are also funny, but are good. But I think HFY has steered more towards the space opera side of things and less towards Spaceballs, if we had to compare. So I think we could use more Spaceball content just because I like humor, which is why my story that I wrote was all about a stupid kid's joke. Doesn't need to make sense as long as it's fun. Rez, both for cheese and onion salmi, I only eat raw onion because that works. But I mean, I have fried onion in other stuff. Would have fried onion if I was allowed it. Joe, yes, I did. I must have forgot to send a reply to you. But thank you very much for the permission. I did add you to the list. I thought I'd sent you a permission, but... whoops. Sorry. But yeah. It's added to the list, and I'll read it when I get there. No, that sounds a bit wishy-washy, but it very much depends. But if as long as it's part of the pool, I will probably get there eventually. Yeah, I think there isn't enough sci-fi comedy. Although comedy is very subjective. Just go with less serious sci-fi. I've never seen that on the shelves. This Gaviscon is recommended by all the doctors. This is the stuff that they give. Itchy nose. This is the stuff that they give to all stomach ulcer stuff, but also surgery. If you had surgery on your stomach, this is what they give you after the surgery for your stomach. So it's pretty. Tastes, but it does the job. Yeah, could be. But this is Gaviscon double action. I've never seen the brand Pepto-Bismol in this country. Yeah, not always. Not always. Sometimes bad stuff tastes nasty too. Okay. Joey, my story is the 100,000 subscriber special. So if you search Aggro Squirrel 100K, you should be able to find it. I put a poll out and people decided they wanted me to write a story for the 100K special. So that's what we did. Me. I have the stigma. I refer to my channel as a we thing because it's two people who work on it. When most of the time I'm actually referring to myself. It's not the royal we. It's just that there's two of us. Fair enough. Well, I'm glad everybody enjoyed that story. Didn't want to be too serious. Because, I mean, when I was coming up with ideas for it, there was several that were like super serious. And, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, I don't want that. I want funny. That's what I want. So, that's what I wrote. It's always very difficult to write a comedy or humorous story. Yeah, you guys are also part of the channel, but you're not part of the we, as in creating stuff. But you are part of the channel just as much as myself and my wife. Dark Mirror, good morning. Hope you're doing well. And this is going to be sappy and stuff, but you guys are the most important part of the channel. Because otherwise, if I didn't have you guys, if you guys weren't here, and girls and all of that, I would just be a guy sitting in his room talking to his computer. That's what I am without an audience. It's what any YouTuber is without an audience. Right. Suppose I've got to get some work done today. Always with work. Brr. The algorithm waits for no person. No one. Move this up here. We're going to change. Yes. Tiger, you're only crazy if you answer yourself. Or if you tell yourself a joke and you laugh at it. But I say, quite, why aren't you showing? Oh, that's why. Yes, very white, very bright. All right, there we go. One of these days, I'll figure out how to turn OpenOffice into dark mode, so that I don't get archives. Well, thank you for the kind words, Simon. It's very much appreciated. Alrighty, so there are a lot of new members, or a lot of new people in the chat. Well, talking at least. So I'm going to... What am I going to do? First, we're going to assign voices to the stories. So that's why we have the bright abomination that is OpenOffice open, so that we can go through and assign voices. Once we've assigned voices, I will narrate it, but narration will happen on the green screen because I need the raw video for my wife to edit rather than the scene for OBS. Nope, that's not what I wanted. And while doing most of the stuff, I'll try to respond as much as I can. Once I've started the story, the actual narration, I'll have to ignore everybody until I've finished it. Right. Yeah, I don't know why there isn't a dark mode. It's everywhere else. But the only way to do it is an add-on of some description, and it's a pain in the ass. I'm just like, okay. Good morning, Mackenzie. Hope you're doing well. Rolando, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Fair enough talk. Yeah, you know, it's the same as the there and back journey. Just there and back. It's just boring over there, so you always come back. Good night, Rez. I hope you have a fantastic sleep and wake up all rested and have a fantastic day tomorrow. Thank you very much, Darth. Much appreciated. All right. Thank you very much for the follow. It's very much appreciated. Which is Yoni8503469. It's very much appreciated. Thank you. All right. Cheers, Kovash. See you later. Okay. We open up with a voice, but we don't know what voice. So this one will be villain voice. So I have a list of, at this point, 22 voices that I can assign. Some of them people know already. Some of them I haven't really used. I think we'll go with M7, which is villain with pronounced T. You think you know what you want. Yeah, sort of voice like that. Just move that over there. This is M1, which is just my normal voice. I think we'll go with M10. I've been using it a lot recently, but I want to get it better. And the only way to get better at it is to keep doing it. M1. M7 for the villain. M10. So M10 is my description, which may or may not apply. It's American Low Central, which is not Central America. It's where I speak in my voice. Yeah, very much. Mode 1, Mode 10. Sure, I like it. I think it adds more character to the story. Makes it easier to distinguish the characters in the story. So I like it. I also like doing the voices sometimes. Some voices just don't work on certain days. But overall, I enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. So I'm narrating stories the way I would like to listen to the stories. So yeah, there's that. Ooh, thank you for the 78 bits, Doc. Much appreciated. That still sounds like a slot machine. 2, 7. Oh. That's because that's the wrong thing. What are you doing? Right. Whiskey? No, I haven't. Thank you for the follow. It's very much appreciated. No. Before I actually do a voice on stream or on a... Actually, no. I lie. There is one. It was just really annoying voice for everybody. It was kind of a child voice, but it was just annoying enough to be annoying to every single person. So I think it's the only voice that I've dropped. But by the time I do a voice on stream or on a story, I've practiced it. So my wife has the patience of a saint because I walk around the house talking in different voices all the time. I'll hold a conversation with one of my voices. It's practice. It's muscle memory. Oh, thank you, Dark Mirror, for the 100 bits. It is very much appreciated. So, yeah, so I walk around the house and practice voices, but also just do random stuff. So if there's a voice... Yeah, that is the chrysalis voice I was thinking about, Fallen. That was the grub, if I remember correctly. The grub's voice. It was very annoying to everybody, including me. It's not that I'm particularly against space opera and very serious, but I just think there could be more comedy, but more lightheartedness. Everything has a time and place. And I've read most of those sorts of things, from completely dead serious all the way up to ridiculous. Yes, definitely confirmed. Not even just talking to the voices in my head, just talking to everybody. Holding conversations, just walking down the corridor. If somebody didn't know what I was doing and listened in to me, they'd think I was absolutely bonkers. But if they knew me, they would know that I'm absolutely bonkers. Sorry, I'm doing too many things at once. My brain just kind of... Okay. Fallen, just, if possible, send me how to do whatever it is you want me to do, and then I'll figure it out. I only just figured out how to do alerts yesterday. Well, thank you all for the kind words. It's very much appreciated. What was it doing? Fallen, I also haven't really decided what I'm going to do with channel points, because I have no idea. But once I figure it out, I'll definitely implement it. Thankfully, I can... When I'm outside, I try to pretend to be at least moderately normal. No, I also don't trust... Well, not necessarily sane, but happy people. So excessively happy people are, I find, odd. So now we need to figure out who's talking. Yes, multitasking, and not my best capability. Right, what are we doing? We're trying to figure out who's talking. Of arable land and 14,000 of various wilderness, lakes and wasteland in the human empire. About a third of the Sakari desert. Your incompetence bias you. Learned that our lands are 2/3 and productive as yours. Your agricultural slave species with better growth magic. But there are other factors. Your land support about 3 tons of I know your own internal figures separate how man, Mahata, Sinha, and Leva are needed, but each species produces about as much food for humans. So you accept 1 human for each 4 tons of so 1 per 2,000. Yet this offensive has defeated more than that, but it's still... So I think this is going back to the villain. Okay, I think this is M10, M7. Really, really easy if it actually told me which character was talking. M10. Yes. I mean, obviously you need to take something serious in life, but a good belly laugh, a good chuckle, a wet-eyed moment through laughter is always good. It's good for the soul, I find. Whiskey, it's actually not that uncommon for a voice to change in the late 30s. Okay, this is M1. I'm sorry that I'm quite breathy today, but like I said, I'm dry. Quite. Not dehydrated, just dry. If that makes any sense. Okay. So, here's a question. Yeah. That's true, Captain, but I also have more male voices than female voices, so if it's not specifically said that it's a female voice, I'll always go with a male voice, just because I got more of them. But, like, here, between the two, this interaction would be better if they just said who was talking. Prisoner, torturer, whatever. Alright. Now, another problem. So the other problem, I said there's another problem and then didn't say anything. I was concentrating. So there is a quotation mark. There is no beginning of the quotation. There is no end. So I think it's a mistake. But sometimes people do forget to start the quotation and then also forget to end the quotation. So this will be M1 all the way up to here. Oh, I think we'll go with the M4 there. The old cowardly voice. Dragon leaders are reporting, Dominator. We must abandon this town. The humans are flanking us on both sides. So something like that. M7. This is the M4. M7. I'm going to take a wild guess there because we're having a conversation. Snivelly voice. M10. M7. I mean, it happens. In what way, Joe? What is your end goal? If you're starting out, I'd say focus on your narrator cadence and your narrator voice over characterizations. Being able to act whatever the character's doing, I think is very good. But most people will more easily identify with a voice change. If you look at Stephen Fry, he doesn't do massive voice changes. He does characterization changes. So he'll talk like the character would talk. Whereas some of the other narrators do voices, but a little less in the characterization of the voices. I think for an average story, being able to tell the difference between who's speaking is better, even if it's a bit stunted, than having something subtle like the state, the acting part of it. If that makes any sense. M10. And obviously you want both. M7. No, that's M4. And that is M7. Yes, Dark Mirror. The random puns are act of war in some places. M7. If you look at Joe, if you look at a lot of my early content, there wasn't any characterization or voice changes. So that was basically just learning the proper cadence, because a narrator cadence is slower than a talking cadence or speed. This would be M10. M7. M10. And a paragraph. I think. Maybe not. Okay, so this is all the same voice. It's multi-paragraph. M10. And M10. Very much so, Joe. Very much so. If you go and get a new microphone, the better the microphone, the more mistakes it records. So starting off with a crappy microphone is good because you don't catch as many mistakes. And as you improve, you can go up to the bigger microphones because you're making less mistakes. M10. No, that's M7, not M10. This is M10. M M7, M1, M4. Okay. So, funny thing, that highlighted message doesn't come through in the combined chat. Well, I don't know whether that would be a funny thing, it's just a thing. Alright, M4, stability voice. M7. M10. So this looks like it's only a 3-voice story. This is M7. And then this is M1. And then M10. Okay. We'll just open up the teleprompter software. We can copy all of this. Do proceed. But before we do that, we need some hydration. Right. Oh, hydration. Chug, 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 chug. Right, so I'm going to need OBS. We've got OBS, and we're going to need some recording software. Start recording. Start recording. Moving to the stream. No. Not that one, this one. Okay. If you're wondering why there's specifically a green screen, why I'm doing it with the green screen, is to produce raw footage for the editing. The editing software's green screen is a lot better than OBS's. That's something to consider. I'll definitely try that. Okay, I'm gonna start narrating. Need to take the glasses off. Greetings, ladies and metal gents, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called The Humans Are Forced from the Battlefield, written by Credible333. The truth! Davek's ears barely heard the demand through his own screams of pain. He almost gave it to them, restrained only by the knowledge nothing would anger them more. The truth is, I am Lord Davek, Swordbreaker, rightful ruler from here to... Once again, red-hot iron sizzled on his flesh. The reptile-like face that confronted him was turning blue. Amazing how many of the intelligent race's faces turned blue-colored when angry. The translation crystal was turning the same color. Apparently, they didn't expect to need to use it for so long. Another indication that they came to eliminate. Not enslave. They weren't going to be talking to us after their victory. We are rightful ruler of nowhere. You humans are a disgrace, hiring mercenaries from other races as mainline troops. You truly are the weakest of the military races. But you will tell me where the additional forces come from. You will tell me where the additional forces came from. Okay, here is the truth. This offensive of yours has defeated my main force with my best warriors. I counted up the number who fled from each battle. Would you agree is the total? Would you agree the total is 3,000? I don't have more than 3,500, and I can prove it. There are about 5,800 square kilometers of arable land and 14,400 of various wilderness, lakes, and wasteland. In the human empire, about a third of the Sakari dominion. Your incompetent spies, you learned. Through your incompetent spies, you learned that our lands are 2/3 as productive as yours. Your agricultural slave species with better growth magic. But there are other factors. Your lands support about 3 tons of AG slaves per arable square kilometer, and need about 5 tons of them for each Sakari warrior, correct? I know that you're not internal figures. I know your own internal figures separate how Manhota, Sinha, and Levan are needed, but each species produces about as much food per mass. Humans are 80% Sakari mass, so you expect 1 human for each 4 tons of ag slave. So 1 per 2 square kilometers, or 2,900. Yet this offensive has defeated more than that in battle, and it's not, Yet this offensive has defeated more than that in battle, and it's not your only attack, is it? So the ones we fight now must be mercenaries you hired from other races. We saw some Atri and some Kane, but there were others, the size and the shape of humans. Who are they? How many do you have? How did you get here so quickly? Were our plans betrayed? Normally, I eat slaves, but I will eat a Normally, I eat slaves, but I will eat a human supreme dominator just as eagerly. Part of the reason they got here so quickly is how we use our horses. We have a method that allows us to increase their effective long-term speed. The reason it works is the same reason our army has so few animals compared to yours. We can avoid tiring out our animals by substituting a method every human knows. Tell us the method! I won't save you. It won't save you. We do it much better. Each of us trains for years to master this technique, even before full-grown humans can outmatch the greatest Sakari warriors. Well, aside from the few sickly individuals who you might beat at this. A Z ran into the room. David. Sorry, chat distracting me. I'll respond to chat once I'm finished. We're not too much further to the end of the story. A Z ran into the room. Davik had heard the Z. Apparently, they were night hunters before they, like all other races on Nova, were kidnapped and left here. They looked like someone had starved a bear, then stuck 4 octopus tentacles around its face. Apparently, the Sakari used them like humans used the Atri, as night guards and light recon. They were about 1/10 of the Sakari force. They did, however, have an advantage the Atri didn't. If Supreme Dominator Ka had actually watched his own auxiliaries, he would know what was going on. But he was the strongest warrior of one of the strongest military races, so he assumed that he didn't need to know his inferiors. They could see the fight well enough at night to prevent the Sakari being massacred in their beds. Relying on them more than that was weakness.
Dragon Leader Zar reporting. Dominator, we must abandon this town. The humans are flanking us on both sides.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know. They're attacking on all sides of these lackluster fortifications.
No, not just tactically, strategically. They have two forces heading towards the only decent bridge in the area. Fortunately, Hawk Leader Tull noticed the humans sending forces away to the east and check on them. Fortunately, Hawk Leader Tull noticed humans sending forces way out east and check on them. When we found what they were doing, we checked the west and sure enough, we had another force. We've been able to slow them down, but
didn't you tell me the Z were the best night fighters on Nova?
We are, but the Tull is outnumbered 6-1, and half of those are Atri, who are pretty good night fighters. Normally we do hit and run tactics to tire them out, but that doesn't work when the Atri are riding on. But that doesn't work when the Atri are riding and we're on foot.
Their horses let themselves be ridden in the wilderness, right? Got the voices mixed up there. In the writing of this. Their horses let themselves be ridden in the wilderness at night, and they're fresh.
No, they ride on human backs like carrying children.
Where are they getting these new forces?
New forces? What new forces? Did you not notice the same banners over and over again? There have been 3 attacks since nightfall, and not one of them had fresh units. There were wounded coming over the wall each time. We've been fighting the same people for over 8 hours. We'll lose a lot of the rear guard, but if we dump all of our equipment...
Retreat! Now, my warriors have fought all over 3 hours. Retreat now! My warriors have fought all over 3 hours. Minimum. I've thrown our company into the front lines and kept them longer than a battle I've known. Retreat now! My warriors have fought all for over 3 hours. Minimum. Sorry, there's a grammatical error. Messes with the flow. My warriors have fought all for over. Retreat now! My warriors have fought all for over 3 hours minimum. I've thrown every company into the front line and kept them longer than any battle I've known. One after another, they've fought to exhaustion. They can barely walk to the toilet. The reserves have fought as long as the main force. We have no Sakari who can fight. That's why only Z are on the walls. Davik interrupted. Haven't you got it yet? I told the truth, but I also lied. Yes, you defeated my main force, but you haven't defeated the main human force. I am a lord, not the king, and obey his grace King Ryan the Merciful. The numbers I gave you were accurate for your slave system, but humans don't use slaves. The land is tilled by humans, about 7,000 of them on my lands, and another 90,000 on the lands and the other lords. But don't worry, they don't all fight. Only military-aged males, so about 35% of the total. But if they fight, how can they farm? Because most of them only train part-time. They are called militia. Part of the payment for the land is military service. So yes, I have less than 3,500 fighters, and 3,000 have retreated. But they came back, and that's why we always kept reserves.
so you couldn't chase down units before we rallied them. Like most military races, you don't really rally, do you? You either defeat your enemy, or you get tired and stop. There's no reason for the humans. There's a reason that humans use more armor than most forces. It draws out the fight. Now, of course, the militia are not the best soldiers. Working in the fields for 10 or more hours a day does build stamina, though. And of course, you wouldn't know that, having never sweated for more than 4 hours a day in your entire life. Of course, I have a force of professional soldiers and knights that train full-time to provide the quality, to stiffen the quantity. But they are not the best humanity has to offer. That would be the King's Legion. They were 50 miles away. If they ride and then walk beside the horses, they can make it in less than 8 hours, including prepping their horses. The United Knights Infantry Company won't be far behind. They aren't slowed down by having to corral pack animals, because they are the pack animals. Before we were taken to this world, a general named Marius showed up. A general named Marius showed much more efficient this is. A general named Marius showed how much more efficient this is. No, I am the Supreme Dominator. I beat your best main force. I beat your best warriors. They were not our own. They were not our main force. They were not our best warriors. They have not been beaten, but there is a chance for survival. A defeated leader can simply kneel, beg for forgiveness, and ask to be made a vassal, working for the victor. It's how the Kanai came to serve in my army. It's how summon your officers and tell them this is what must happen. You scum! You're lying about everything! The Z leader moved behind the Supreme Dominator and asked a simple question. Is it true your Sakari won't be able to fight for hours? I know you don't have our stamina, but... Yes, but by tomorrow. Lord Davik's voice went hard. My offer is for tonight only. The Supreme Dominator struck out with all his fatigued strength, failing. The Supreme Dominator struck out with all his fatigued strength fading, and even the break. The Supreme Dominator struck out with all his fatigued strength, fading even to break a tooth. I reject your offer. The last thing Ka ever heard was a spurt of his own blood, and Tsar saying, The offer wasn't for you. End of story. Sorry, that one was a bit patchy. Lots of repeats. It was grammatical errors. So, narrating is like predictive text. So you go with the flow of the sentence. So with experience, you know how a sentence flows. And grammatical errors are like a stone in a wheel or your shoe. When you read it, it just messes up the flow. So it's difficult to get the flow again. Right, it's time to catch up with chat. All right. Good morning, OVS. I hope you're doing well. OVS, yes, YouTube is changing the UI for premium users at the moment, and then they'll roll it out to everyone else later. Yes, Grigori, I am still recovering. It'll still be quite a while before I'm back to 100%. But I was at the doctor yesterday, 2 days ago, and I do have full range for the first time in who knows how long. So now it's just about getting stamina back.
basically what Captain No Name said. Good night, Joe. I hope you sleep well. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, Tiger Lily. Thank you again for popping past. It's very much appreciated. Good morning, Lord Frostdraken. Hope you're doing well. I'm not an editor, so that's why I read it as is. It might not sound great, but that's the way it is. People get upset if you just randomly edit their work. And some people get upset who listen to it and you edit the work. And it's not necessarily always a grammatical error, it's just a inconsistency for what I would consider grammatically correct. So it could also still be a grammatically correct sentence. It's just not the way I would have written it or said it. Well, you need to get the tone of the sentence correct. It's part of telling a story. I'm glad that you enjoyed the story. And thank you for the kind words. So I'm just going to quickly... No. Just going to normalize the audio for this. Nope, not that. The typos also don't help, but I find that typos are whatever. I can normally weather typos a lot better than I can with grammar being off. I mean, as long as most people know what the beginning and end letters of a word are, and whether in a sentence, you can guess what the word is. So it's not too much of a problem. The problem is when the two words are flipped around. It makes it a bit more difficult. Hope you're having a fantastic morning, OVS. Or evening, whichever one it happens to be for you. Or even afternoon. There's a little time period between a morning and evening. And there will be a second story that I'll be recording. But that will probably be the recording for the day. Like I said, my voice is very dry from something. Thank you, Lord Frostdraken, for the follow. It's very much appreciated. Yeah, it's the best way I've found to keep track of the voices. Yep, multi-streaming. Double dipping, if you will. Thank you, Whiskey, for the follow. Much appreciated. We're only 5 away from the 200 followers goal, when I'll just edit it again. It's like a real streamer. We'll never reach the goal. I'll keep moving the goalposts. So when you've got like 5 or 6 voices, it's fine to use colors, so like highlighters, because getting 5 or 6 colors of highlighting is easy. But when you start getting into double digits, you can't use colors anymore because the colors will be too close together to be quickly recognizable. Lord Frostdraken, not really. Wherever it's best for you. I am trying to build the Twitch channel, So, Twitch, so that the numbers go up and attract new people. But again, whatever's best for you. I'm going to step away for a moment because I've drunk 4 liters of water and it's only 11:30. So my body doth protest. So I'll pump this music up a bit. And I'll be right back.
Through the nebula's mist we'll forge our own schemes. In the vastness of space where no man has been, we'll navigate, chart the unexplored galactic highway. Give home maze upon the starry sea. We're the spacemen sailing through infinity. With our voices loud and our spirits free, we'll voyage across the celestial sea. Oh, voyage across the celestial sea.
Thank you for the follow. It's very much appreciated. And I am back. Whiskey. Did you join? If you joined the Discord server, just give me your Discord name and then I'll give you a color. And more liquid. Too much liquid. She knows. So I'll do one more story. I did post the link somewhere in the chat, but we can post it again. Okay, story number 2. Already a writer. Put that over there. Oops. Awesome. Are you a patron or Peanut? Are you a patron or a channel member? This one will be quite short. Okie dokie. I will. Let me just quickly check. So everybody joining the Discord server had people worried that I was being invaded by bots. I thought that was funny. Good morning, Brian. I hope you're doing well. Peanut, what is your name on YouTube? And when did you join? You said recently. Boop, 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 boop. Right, nice. Okay. I'm just not seeing a channel member with the name Peanut. It could just take a while to come through. Okay. I'm going to run a quick ad break. I'm not going to say anything for a minute. I hope we all understand. It's time to stand up and go for a pee or something. All right, back. I think should be back on everybody. Just making sure. All right. Whiskey, you said you were a channel member. Is that correct? Actually, we can do this after stream. Just let me know what your username is on Patreon, if you're through there, or channel member. I need to figure out how Twitch subscriptions fall into the tiers before I give colors. But I'll definitely look into it. Yeah, very much. Look, I've got a nice quiet Okay. Sure. That's pretty quick. Oh. There you go, Whiskey. You got a nice fancy schmancy color on Discord. And you got access to the super secret special area, which is basically there in case there's a billing problem or problem with memberships or Patreon or something like that. But you get a nice color, which is always good. Alrighty. What was I doing? Can't remember what I was doing. Oh, working. That's right, working. We need to click there. This is the squirrel part of the aggro, which is like getting distracted. I'm doing okay. Actually feeling a bit better, a little less dry, but definitely not going to push it for a second story. I hope you're doing well, Redvex. Okay, M1. I think we'll go with M13, Frog Face. We refuse the Terran proposal. Good old 13. M2, which will be the more elderly voice. But see here. M2. M13. M2. M2. M1. Okay, we're back to the leader, so M2. Fair enough. Manathea. Tharia. Fair enough. Oh, we got 10 people watching on Twitch. Puts me in the top 1% of Twitch streamers. Thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. M13. M13. Yes. Autocorrect can be very, very, very wrong. And it seems to always go with like the most embarrassing interpretation of what you're trying to write. M2. M2. I can think of a lot better things to do than lie on freshly cut grass. My body doesn't like freshly cut grass. Yes, it is a very sad statistic. Yeah, so I don't know whether it's still relevant. It's a couple of years ago. They did a study, and because the barrier to entry is so low, you got lots of streamers streaming to like one person, 2 people. To get up to 10, only less than 1% of streamers got that far. Yeah, very much auto-incorrect, like Redvex said. Same as on YouTube. The amount of channels that reach 1,000 subscribers is minuscule. I think it's less than 5%. This is M13. I'm sure it does, Dark Mirror. Thank you very much for the subscription, Manatharia. It's very much appreciated. M14, no, that's 7. 2. 2. Definitely a 2. And this is a 1. M2. All right, this is 1. M7, 13. M2. M2. M13. M2. I do sometimes, but I don't really read for enjoyment anymore. When you read for a living, reading is like work. So when you off work, you don't want to do more work or work-like stuff. So you tend to avoid it. So I do read some stuff, but I don't necessarily read a lot anymore for personal reading. I tell a joke to some people. It's like, I read so much during, my job that I refuse to read so badly that I make my wife read menus to me when we go out. Unless the menu has pictures, because then I can just point. It's a joke, but it's basically what it is. M2. M7, M2, M1, M13. It's not 7, it's 13. M2. M13. M2. M13. M2. M1. M13. Welcome back, OVS. Yeah, very much. I refuse to talk, but I'll have 3 of those. M2. M1. M13. M2. M2, M1. This looks like a 3-voice story. It's not too bad. M13. Oh, no, that's M2. We'll go with a snooty voice. Whatever. M1. M3. M2. M2. Okay. Oh, no, I don't want to save. I want to copy. Proceed. So I'm just going to head over to the recording, sit up straight. Whilst my chair rolls backwards because the wheels are too wheelie. It's wheelie, wheelie, wheelie easy. Some water. Good night, Whiskey. Hope you sleep well. And hope to see you again tomorrow. Right. Record. And record. Story number 2. We Refuse the Terran Proposal, written by Ouijan Warrior. The Terrans and the Namphutians stared at each other across the table. We refuse the Terran proposal, the 10-foot-tall Xeno stated, with quivering tentacles. It is intolerable. But, see here, the leader of the Terrans said, if good men sit down and talk, acceptable solutions may be intolerable and inexcusable. This is not the time for monkeys' chatter. This is time for war. This is time for extermination. Let me have a quick word with my colleagues, the human said as he stepped away from the table. It'll only be a minute or so. The Terran delegation discussed briefly between themselves before the leader stepped up to the table again, fangs showing. So, are you quite sure that you want to declare war on Terra? Or possible Terrans? Yes, the spokesbeing for the Numput delegation hissed. The spokesbeing for the Numputh delegation hissed. Your hot-blooded species is an affront to the goddess and must be Sure, the Terran interrupted, as two of the other Terrans brought their it's going to be one of those words. Manipulation, manipulatory. The Terran interrupted, as two of the other Terrans brought their manipulatory digits together above their heads. And just to be clear, you also reject the idea of adhering to the Geneva Convention, as amended for interspecies warfare for this war. The mere idea of rules in war is a human madness and an affront to the goddess. Yes, just checking. The goddess, yes, just checking. One of the other Terrans came up and handed the leader a datapad. All right, so the war is definitely on. You're sure about that? And it's going to be a total war. No rules. One of the human digits hovered over a big red button on the datapad. We're going to exterminate your sorry excuse for babbling sentient. Great! The human exclaimed as he pushed the button.
I'll tell you, the Boffins have been itching for this chance for years. I tell you, the Boffins have been itching for this chance for years. They're still working on the exact details, but in about 5 minutes, we'll attack 1/3 of your planets with some interesting pathogens that we've developed to infect non-Terran life forms. 1/3 with a range of fun new chemical weapons, and the last third we're keeping in reserve for some of the other experiments in xenocidal warfare. What? In the 7 nanocycle? How can you order that so fast? And pathogens? Chemicals? Xenocidal? What? You don't have an instant communication over interstellar distances? We worked that trick out a long time ago. It is an interesting side effect of the project to link the cores of several stars to make a region-wide nova bomb. Nova bomb? What madness is this? We're unlikely to use that one right off the bat. We need that data of weapon tests first. Your species is insane! Sure we are, buddy, and if you want to surrender unconditionally, we can still call the Boffin's Fun Field tests. You've got 4 minutes left. The Nemtooths looked at each other, tentacles stiff as the Terran smiled brightly at them. Surrender with what? Surrender on what conditions, Terran? Unconditionally. That means that you give up, and we give no guarantees, reassurances, or promises. This is not how things are done. This is an affront to the goddess and to... It is how things are done now. No rules in war, remember? And it's 3 minutes, by the way. But how can we be assured that you will not go ahead with this monkey business if there's no reassurances? You can't. But you can hope we'll feel merciful, which I assume is an affront to the goddess. Most of the things we do seems to be. 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. The Xeno seemed to shrink and shrivel. We will surrender. Unconditionally. The Nampoothian's spokesbeing looked towards the rest of the group before replying, unreservedly, but with some hope. Great, the human said as he held up the data pad. I'm going to need your signature here, and here. And from the rest of you guys too, if you don't mind. One by one, the Nampoothians signed and were escorted out, heads so low their tentacles dragged on the floor. As the last one left, the head of the Terran delegation turned to the others. High five, gentlemen, they bought it. High five, gentlemen, they bought it. Nova bombs. Nova bombs and instant interstellar communications, said the one who had given him the datapad. Why are Xenos so gullible? I guess, the head of the delegation said as he grinned, that if they believe you'll break the laws of war, they'll believe anything. End of story. All right. Just quickly normalizing that. We can go back to the full screen. All right. As you can hear, the voice is a little bit
cranky after being forced to work. Well, that's just the way it is. Now we're going to generate some backgrounds. Which are pretty simple. It is outer space in the future. You know it's going to be a rough day when you've drunk 6 liters of water, or whatever, and you still feel a bit dehydrated. Do. Alright, sent off to the editor. AKA the wife. That sounds interesting, Redvex. Itchy. Right. But at least now I can do a very deep voice. How are we doing, chat? Are we doing okay? Do I need to go deeper? Do we like this voice? Very deep. How deep? Very deep. Good night, Dark Mirror. Hope you do have a nice sleep. Nice restful sleep. And we'll see you when we see you. What was it doing? Oh, thumbnail. Well, let's do a thumbnail. Okay, I think I've got an idea for the thumbnail. Let's open up Photoshop. We can close the teleprompter software, and we can close the recording software. All right. Photoshop. Whoops. That's the wrong screen. I need to be over here. There we go. No wonder it wasn't working. I wasn't in the right screen. So, what are we going to go with? Humans are bullies. Question mark. We shall make this a bit smaller. At 12. And this a bit bigger. At 16. And we shall send a paragraph over here. Then we generate an image, which would be, imagine, crying alien holding data slate. That doesn't look right. Probably need to go with a anime version. So it's less uncanny valley, which is -- Niji. That didn't work. Why didn't that work? Yeah, this is just general royalty-free music. What the hell is that noise? Right. That would have to be a really big valley for that to be close to the Hadal zone. Just sending more and more stuff to get generated. Excuse me. Didn't really mean to clear my throat in your ear. Clear my throat, not clean my throat. I think that one's unusual. we can change that. Probably want to move it a bit lower so you can see the face better. Something like that. And then we can do this, and this. I want this to be a bit darker. Or maybe we just leave it bright pink and see how that performs. I think that might actually be a better idea. Yeah, and that is very true, Redvax. Very true. It's the only hope that one has. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you also got to take into consideration when it's been viewed in light mode, dark mode on a PC, or on the mobile. Let's see, what does it look like? Small. Looks okay. Humans are bullies. Yeah, I think we'll keep that. See how that performs. Anybody who says making thumbnails isn't an art is probably right. But there is some art to it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you need solid colors. You don't, subtlety doesn't work in thumbnails. So, I mean, this is... You need to be able to kind of tell what the thumbnail is at this size. Which for you is a bit more difficult because it's smaller than what it is on my screen. So this is basically what it will look like on a mobile device. That's why Mr. Beast does such high saturation on these videos. So basically you can always tell what's happening, is the theory. Good night, Lord Frostdraken. I hope you sleep well, and hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow. I think it sticks out quite nicely. I think we'll just keep with this one. And if it doesn't work, I can always change it. Right. Good morning. Afternoon for me. Terry, hope you're doing well. Okay, what am I doing? Who knows what I'm doing? We'll move to the big one, because I'm done with editing the thumbnail. Now we can just have a chat. I can even put my glasses back on. It's going to be fantastic. I can see the smudges on my glasses. And then possibly the screen behind the smudges on my glasses. Okay. That's better. Still quite dry. Dehydrated. I don't think it's dehydration, because I've drunk an insane amount of liquid today. I think it's just a side effect from something. Right. So I'm still getting demonetized on YouTube for my streams because I keep swearing, I think. It's not like they actually tell me, and it's not demonetized, it's limited. But yeah, I have like a 60% chance of being demonetized or limited again. Very, very fun. No, this is because I took an extra dose of sleeping tablet last night just to make sure I got some good sleep. It just tends to linger longer. That's why I don't normally take that dose. I take a sort of lesser dose. It is Fog of War, yes. Definitely Fog of War. I think Fog of War is funnier than Fog of War. Because yesterday I was struggling because I only got 3 hours of sleep. So last night I wanted to make sure I would get all the sleep, or at least 6 hours. So I doubled my dose, which is actually the normal dose I should be taking. I take half what I'm supposed to, because I'd rather take the minimum amount of medication. Okay, chat. I have exciting things. Well, I don't generally plan for what I do after I finish, but I would like to continue for 3 hours. So, what are we gonna do? I can play a game, or I can make another sea shanty song. So, I don't know. Make a song about the peanut gallery in the chat talking to Mackenzie. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Chat talking to fair enough, Mackenzie. I also tend to be one of the ones that sleep less than more. But I need to keep my sleep schedule pretty consistent for the voice. Even though I can function on less sleep, my voice tends to give out if I don't get enough sleep. Oh, yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I've been trying very hard to not swear on my streams, but I keep getting limited. It's ridiculous. But the stream algorithm is a different algorithm to the video one. So maybe it's the content of the stories I'm reading. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so I'm gonna video open. I'm gonna make this a bit wider. Right, so I just asked it to make a song about the peanut gallery in chat, talking to a streamer in the style of the Beach Boys. So let's see what it came up with. Turn the music down.
Sitting by the ocean, watching streaming tides, the peanut
It's not the Beach Boys.
gallery chiming in, their voices amplified, they're typing in the chat. Just trying to get some attention, throwing out their words like a cyberspace dimension. The streamer on the mic catching all the waves, surfing through the comments, seeing what it says. But the peanut gallery, they got a lot to say, leaving their opinions like seashells on display. Gallery, won't you give it a rest? The stream is here to entertain, doing their very best, but you keep on chatting, filling up that screen. Just remember, we're all in this together, part of the same virtual scene.
It's funny. I especially like the fact that it just does not recognize Beach Boys. And let's try it. Same song, different style. So pick a style. What are we going for? Beach Boys is not a style. What is list of styles of music? Bardcore. I like John Scatman. Let's try. So this is going to be the exact same prompt, except the style is going to change. Okay, we're getting there. It's generating. Chatterbox Groove. I love these titles.
In the chat room of a stream, there's a lively scene where the peanut gallery gathers. Oh, so keen. They type
It's not the style.
away, talking to the streamer. In the chat room of a stream,
Now
there's
it's
a
better.
lively scene where the peanut gallery gathers home. So keen they type away, talking to the streamer. You see, they're like a jazz band, taking turns with glee. They scat their thoughts, filling up the screen. Oh, those chatterbox rhythms, so smooth and pristine. They're the funny, the witty, the sarcastic and clever, keeping the streamer entertained forever. Oh, Peanut Gallery, you're the soundtrack of the show. Your lines of text like music, they flow. You bring the laughter, the banter, the cheer in the street. You're the vibe we all.
Okay, yeah. So I also changed one and made it heavy metal, which I think will be interesting. An epic classical song about a manhole that was the fastest manhole that managed to escape gravity and into orbit. I don't go with a classical song because that doesn't have vocals. We'll go with a rap song. All right, let's hear the Peanut Gallery heavy metal. It's not bad.
On the streets, just another grimy scene. But this one had a dream to break from routine. One day it found a way to defy all laws of gravity. Took off to the skies, escaping this concrete cavity. Now it's floating up high where no manhole ever goes. Leaving the earth behind, now it's wearing a cosmic glow. And interstellar traveler defying laws of physics. While the world below is left in shock and total mystics. Out of this world, manhole on a cosmic spree. Defying gravity, now it's starting harmony. Out of this world, from the streets to outer space. Shaking up the universe, leaving no trace. Man on the streets got a story to tell. Broke the laws of physics. Man on the streets got a story to tell.
A song about a song that is sung by a song in the style of musical theatre. Grog, yes. I use Midjourney to generate them and then edit them in Photoshop. I used to scour the internet for random pictures of stuff and use that. And then eventually just was like, well, I'll use AI. That way, I can get more closely to what I want with Mid-Journey, yeah. It's Frank Sinatra's. Okay. I know. An alien force invades Earth, and an epic battle starts. Humanity barely wins. In the end, in the style of crooner, I think is the specific style that he used. Frank Sinatra. All right.
In the spotlight, center stage.
In the spotlight, center stage, a song.
That's just a random set of words. Doesn't really do anything there. Okay.
In a world so bright, the stars. In a world so bright, the stars align. A force unseen, a challenge defined. Our hearts united, our spirits so strong. Together we fought against a cosmic throng. Oh, it was the battle of our lives, a clash of worlds, where hope survives in the face of darkness. We stood tall for our love, for our home. We gave our all. Through the chaos and the blazing fire, we fought with passion.
Sounds like an intro to a James Bond movie.
With every breath, we fought for our lands. We held our ground with heart and with hands against a calm.
Epic sports anthem about a lost shoe. Gonna let that generate. I'm gonna put some music on. I'm gonna step away for a couple of minutes and I'll be right back.
Hoist the sails and let the wind guide our way. We're the
I shall be right back.
and sail the cosmic bay. From Jupiter to Saturn, we'll deliver our freight on our starship, sailing through the interplanetary strait. With a hardy crew and a cargo of dreams, through the nebula's mist we'll forge our own schemes. In the vastness of space where no man has been, we'll navigate, chart the unexplored galactic highway. Give home, mateys
celestial sea. Oh, voyage across the celestial sea.
Alrighty, back. Redvec, are you using Suno?
In the field, I'm ready to go. My mind is in the field.
How is this a sports
Ready
anthem?
to go. My mind is focused. Ready to show.
No, not normal.
But something's missing. Gotta find a way to keep on running and
So, Redvex, I just go through the website.
I lace 'em up, ready to fight. But the game has started. Something's not right.
That's true, I didn't say which sport. So, an epic sports and rugby. Let's go with that one. Rugby. And about a lost shoe. One thing you are going to have to be careful of with Suno is I think you get 4 songs a day that you can generate on the free plan. I was having fun, so I bought some credits. Okay, so
In the hallowed stadium where legends come. In the hallowed stadium where legends come to play. With our hearts pounding, we step onto a stage. Amidst the chaos and adrenaline rush, there's a tale of determination, a soul left in the dust. Races flying as we charge with all our might. A warrior's battle cry.
what I find quite interesting is it's generating the lyrics too. But you can insert lyrics.
I realize I've lost the key to my dreams. With what you missing, feel a soldier, never giving up. In the face of defeat, I'll keep on striving. For the love of the game, the spirit never stops.
This amuses me. Probably amuses me a bit more than it should, but yeah. Gotta get your amusement where you can. Thrash metal about a slow song. And the other thing is you can actually, all of these are, where is it? Yeah, that's true. Yes, you can actually listen to other people's songs as well. So this is the number one song. Are we ready? Actually, probably shouldn't play these in case somebody tries to copyright me. So there is a list of the top songs with the most plays. But I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to be a professional streamer so that I don't get my stream copyright struck. Because that would be a pain. A soul song about someone else. Oh no, a country song. A country song about someone eating the last donut. And you are left with none. There is also a video one these days. Can't remember what it's called. The Donut Thief, sure.
Waking up to the morning sun, the smell of coffee and the fresh baked bun. I head to the kitchen feeling nice and bright. My heart sinks as I see a terrible sight. Oh, the donut thief strikes again, leaving me with nothing, no donuts to befriend. I search high and low, but
Why would you befriend a donut?
to be found. Oh, the donut thief here left me without a sound. And my hopes up, my taste buds dancing wild, dreaming about that sweet, sugary, circular child. But it's gone, it's vanished, without a trace. Oh, the donut thief, you left an empty space. Oh, the donut thief strikes again, leaving me with nothing, no donuts to befriend. I search high and low, but they're nowhere to be found. Oh, the donut thief, you left me without a sound. Oh, the donut thief, you left me without a sound.
Oh yeah, much shenanigans to be had with this app. Well, website. Now I wonder, how many words can I put in here? because it's copy and paste an entire story in here, and we make it an instrumental. Rock music. One, two, three, four, five. Oh, whoops. I'm not sure what you mean, Redfax. Are you just looking for the Discord server, or are you looking for something specific on the Discord server? Madness. You can just join my Discord. I should be available there. I don't really do too much DMs on Discord, but I do chat in my Discord server on a regular basis. There is the Discord server. I mean, you can send me a message. Yeah, that's basically all I do. I mean, I am available on my Discord server when I'm available. I mean, I don't stream to Discord. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't even know if you can monetize that. Maybe you can. I'm not sure. All right. I think I'm actually gonna probably call it. We won't make it quite to the 3-hour mark, but that's okay. There's no rules saying that I have to go for 3 hours, but I am feeling quite tired. The voice needs to be a bit of a rest as well, more importantly than me being tired. Yeah, but with Discord you never know. And it's such a security risk, so I would rather just stream to the normal places. Yeah, I'd imagine it just gets very complicated. Because it's not actually built as a streaming platform, it's just a communications platform. So it can get a bit weird, I'd say. And I'm not really into like a lot of social media stuff. So I mean, I do have some social media stuff, but it's normally all related to the channel. Good night, Mackenzie. I hope you have a fantastic night and you get some good sleep. Well, I mean, I use it as a place where people can chat to me, ask me questions and stuff. But I mean, I'm part of several servers, but I barely ever use other servers. For no other reason than it's just not my thing. Fair enough. Yes, I think... yes, the country donut song is pretty funny. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it a night, or afternoon. Go eat some lunch. Rest the voice. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Same time, same place. Same voice. Well, hopefully a slightly better voice. Good night, everyone. Have a good day. So I can find my app.